Meet Sideshow Bob, the man who brought highbrow villainy to Springfield with his love for opera and an obsession with revenge that's as over the top as his hairstyle. He's a failed performer, a criminal mastermind, and above all, he's Bart Simpson's greatest nemesis. But behind every evil laugh, there's a story. Today, we're going to dive deep into Sideshow Bob's character, uncover his worst moments and ask, is he really just an evil genius? Or is he misunderstood? Before we label Bob as purely evil, let's look at the man himself. Robert Underdunk Terwilliger, better known as Sideshow Bob. Starting as a mere sidekick to Krusty the Clown, Bob was humiliated on a daily basis, often reduced to slapstick gags. But here's the twist, Bob always felt he was destined for more, and he'd do just about anything to prove it. Intelligent and articulate, Sideshow Bob is no ordinary criminal. He quotes Shakespeare, he revels in opera, and he thinks of himself as someone far above the average Springfield citizen. But that sense of superiority, it's precisely what leads him down his darkest paths. Let's break down some of his worst actions. Bob's vendetta against Bart Simpson goes way back. In season 1, we witness his first true act of villainy, framing Krusty the Clown for armed robbery. It's a ruthless move designed to get Krusty out of the picture and put Bob in the spotlight as the new host of the show. In his mind, he was elevating children's entertainment, but really, he just wanted revenge against the person he felt stole his glory. It's Bart who exposes him, and that's where the feud begins. From that moment on, Bob dedicates himself to one mission: destroying Bart Simpson. Now, framing someone is bad, sure, but Sideshow Bob only escalates from here. Next, in one of his darkest schemes yet, we see Bob almost succeed in murdering Selma, Bart's aunt, purely for her money. Posing as the reformed man, Bob marries her with the full intention of ending her life. The plan only fails because Bart, once again, sees through his deceit. But Bob's attempts don't stop there. Perhaps his most infamous plot unfolds in Cape Fear, where Bob is released from prison and immediately begins stalking Bart and his family. Bob's obsession reaches a whole new level. He hides under their car, follows them across state lines, and at one point even ties himself to the underside of their vehicle just to get closer to Bart. His actions go from typical villainy to full-blown horror, and again, it's Bart's wit that saves the day. But here's where it gets complicated. Sideshow Bob isn't just a mindless villain. He is complex, perhaps even tragic. He feels misunderstood, and at his core, he genuinely believes he's intellectually above those around him. It's this belief that leads him to constantly seek validation, often in the worst ways possible. What if Bob's genius had found another outlet? What if, instead of revenge, he focused on changing the world in his own theatrical way? At one point, he even tries to improve Springfield by running for mayor. Yes, he rigged the election, but his speech about cleaning up Springfield wasn't just political theatre. In Bob's mind, he was bringing culture to a town that desperately needed it, and sometimes you can almost sympathise with him. He's frustrated, feels unappreciated, and resorts to drastic measures to prove his worth. Bob's relationship with Bart is iconic. In many ways, it's a classic frenemy relationship. Bob wants to end Bart's life, there's no question about that, but he also seems to respect Bart in a twisted way. Bart outsmarts him time and time again, which only fuels Bob's obsession. It's almost like he can't help but keep coming back to face his worthy opponent. Think of Sherlock and Moriarty, or Luther and Alice Morgan. It's the same dance, two minds on opposite sides, constantly challenging each other. There's a strange sense of respect, maybe even admiration, in how Bart and Sideshow Bob go head to head. Bart understands Bob better than anyone, and Bob has to admit that Bart's cleverness matches his own intellect, even if it drives him mad. In fact, in a few episodes, we see Bob working alongside Bart to take down even worse villains. Moments like these remind us that Bob isn't pure evil. He's capable of teamwork, and he even cares, to a degree, about his family and his brother. But his flaws always seem to get the better of him. Bob's story is, in many ways, a cautionary tale about unchecked ambition and a desire for validation. He's brilliant, he's cultured, but his inability to handle rejection, his obsession with revenge, and his need to prove himself have all led him to a path of destruction. Bob might be one of The Simpsons' most enduring villains, but he's also one of its most complex. Perhaps in another life, Bob could have been a hero, but in Springfield, he'll forever be the tragic villain. a man who can't let go of his grudge. So, what do you think? Is Sideshow Bob just a villainous mastermind with a taste for vengeance? Or is he a misunderstood genius trapped in a world that never quite appreciated him? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this dive into the mind of Sideshow Bob, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Who knows, maybe we'll uncover the secret side of another character next time. Thanks for watching.